true crime now.
Why is
it's
that?
kind of taken over.
It's kind of, yeah, it has. I don't remember there being so much of like documentaries and podcasts and stuff.
But there's
about
always been people that have been into true crime. Like there's always been people.
Barbara Walters.
Well, Snapped has always been super popular.
Yeah.
That one's been huge for a while
First
now.
48. I used to love First 48 on A&E.
Yeah. And then I feel like a lot of people have
Am I
always
plugging all this
just
stuff?
shown up to, like people showing up to crime scenes and stuff like that. Like now it's just more accessible
Yeah.
that we get to have
Just a little
true crime.
sick in a way.
Does it say
fucking
something about
disgusting.
society where everybody's enthralled with it
I think
and
so.
listening to people get whacked? And that's just how we spend our evenings now?
We're sick. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
That's the best way to put it.
But I think now,
Yeah.
We've
Murder
kind of-
porn.
yeah.
That's what it is, though, isn't it? Isn't
Mhm.
it just kind of seeing how the other side lives until they
Until
get
they
whacked?
don't.
Yeah, until they don't live anywhere.
I think also like I always say this is why I listen to it, and maybe it's just me talking myself into it, but like I want to know what could potentially happen to me. Like I could like just coming into your garage podcast studio today, like everybody knows that we're here.
Send out the little SOS.
Yes.
Hey, my location's here. If I don't move for a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
hours, send somebody
I Googled
over.
you, like we have all of your information, and then walking up and it was just a garage today. I was like, I feel like I've heard a story like
Yeah.
this.
I called Hailee and I was like, I'm waiting for you before I go in there.
So it is something like I'm training / preparing myself, knowing all of these awful things have happened in the world and just kind of hoping that they don't happen to me.
But is there anything you can do about it, right? Because you guys both still showed up.
Well,
You guys took
Well,
your chances.
she
right?
waited.
I have advice
Oh,
for,
you were waiting
for you
outside.
if you were going to murder us is lawyer up right away. That's one thing everybody does completely wrong in
Mhm.
every true crime
Yeah.
podcast,
Mhm.
documentary is they start talking.
Yeah.
Just
I think
say
that's
lawyer.
crimes in
lawyer,
general.
Lawyer.
Mhm.
People just start talking. They just want to say, oh, no,
Yeah.
I just came home and found him like this.
We
And
have our attorney present right now, actually.
Yeah.
I thought I saw his
behind this
car
curtain.
out front. I thought he was waiting just to make sure. Armed bodyguard, just hanging out.
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
in
he's
case.
armed as well.
It's our whole
attorney is
posse.
armed.
Have you guys had any kind of sketchy run-ins where you guys are dealing with just everybody out and about in the community, or has everybody been pretty okay?
Well, one thing that always crosses my mind a little bit when we go to a new venue that's like at a barn is, I hope this isn't the one. I hope this
One.
is a legit wedding. They're not just hauling us out
When
there.
we show up at a dark
Oh, I don't know.
barn
Why would
and-
anybody want to murder us?
I don't know.
I think that's what everybody says, and then
Yeah.
it happens. And you're
And
like,
then
oh,
we would
no."
never. It would never happen to us. But I don't know. Maybe the competition. No, I'm just kidding.
Do you think
I
that?
can't wait to hear part 2 of this podcast.
Do you think that primes people in a weird way when they are aware of that, and just how frequent it happens that it kind of frames your brain into this weird sense of now I have to be on edge
Yeah.
constantly?
I was raised by a very paranoid mother.
Yeah.
So you kind of already had that.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm just at a point in my life where I try not to live in fear.
Yeah. And
so maybe I
also-
take risks that I shouldn't, but
Yeah. And not to be like a real bummer, but we're also women that work in an industry that we're constantly
Mhm.
surrounded by men, and not just men consuming alcohol. And
Yeah.
just the fact that we're women, I think we have to look over our shoulder a lot more than other people. So,
we've definitely had some scary customers
yeah.
in our bartending.
I mean, not so much
Careers.
like the pony keg wise, but
No.
like we've been bartending for a while, even before that. But some people just have this like certain sense of like entitlement over other people and other people's time and other people's emotions that they just get kind of out of control. They just kind of become fucking assholes. So, but there has been some generally pretty scary moments, but I think that's like almost anybody working in this industry. Like I said, people are consuming alcohol, like things come up. There's a lot of people that feel like we are, and this isn't in a bad way at all, like we're their therapist. And a lot of these things come out, and maybe sometimes people feel a little too loosey-goosey, and things just come out that maybe
You can't unhear.
get a little sketchy. Yeah, and you can't
You can't
unhear them or
unhear it.
unsee them. So
Is that just the bartender persona, or is the alcohol playing into that?
It's
Where
both.
they would just talk
Yeah,
to
people
anybody.
will talk more when they're drinking, definitely.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, bartenders are
Mhm.
underpaid therapists
Yeah.
to a great
Mhm.
extent.
I mean, we came in here and we were
Went right for the
immediately
beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Just
why I have the
because
little
it's
bar
your
over there.
turn.
I mean, it does make us a little bit more inclined to talk just because, as you could probably notice, me and Kara are a little nervous about doing this.
What?
Yeah,
I
I don't
couldn't
know.
tell.
I'm not the most well-spoken person, and I tend to cuss a lot. So I get kind of self-conscious about it.
Do you
but
want me to cuss more?
fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, girl.
Just balance it out.
Yeah.
Just tit for tat, we'll say it.
Now none of our parents can listen.
Is that your guys' backgrounds? You were both bartenders before you started. So for people that
Yeah.
don't know, you guys are from the Pony Keg.
Yes.
Shout
The
out.
Pony Keg
So
Mobile
we're
Bar.
the Pony Keg Mobile Bar. I'm
Follow us.
Haley.
Kara.
Yeah.
We are.
Nick. I'm Nick for people that don't know. Just tuning in.
In case you don't know what you're listening to right
Yeah.
now, this
If you
is
just
Nick.
stumbled across this, you're
Yeah.
walking past the garage and you heard some noise, then yeah. Welcome to Growing Pains, everybody.
I'm Nick. But yeah, we run the Pony Keg Mobile Bar. So pretty much kind of the same as you were talking about. Like peak COVID, we were ready to get out and
have some mental
fun.
stimulation.
Yeah, mental
A new
stimulation.
project.
Financial stimulation.
A purpose.
So yeah, we were like, why don't we fucking like make something that we can like have events like outdoors again and like feel safe, but also be able to like reinvigorate our community and be able to pay ourselves because we were in such like a weird financial situation on top of just like
When
not
nothing is
knowing.
certain.
Yeah, not knowing nothing is certain. So we found, pretty much long story short, we were like, okay, let's do this. And we found this pink horse trailer on Craigslist. Again, us going out in the middle of nowhere in Sacramento and showing up.
That was the first middle of nowhere trip.
Yeah. It was us rolling up and we saw this trailer and we totally, like pretended to like look at it and make everything,
We knew we were getting it.
Yeah.
We
Like
were
be
like,
like,
done.
I don't know about these
So cute.
tires or these wood slats like old and blah, blah, blah. And then we ended up bringing it home. And then we just kind of went to town on it and like created like a little self-sustaining off the grid horse trailer bar. And it just kind of took off from there. So
Made many modifications
yeah,
over the
a lot.
years.
Yeah.
The
We're
last couple of years too. Yeah.
Still making modifications.
Each year, improvements.
Yeah.
All DIY stuff. You guys did this all on your own?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
We did have some help for one. Our bar tops are like this beautiful redwood bar top that we got from one
Live
of our
edge.
friends. Yeah, like a live edge redwood bar top. And my partner and I like looked at trying to do like epoxy on it, but I was so fucking scared to fuck it up
Yeah.
that we ended up having our friend Chuck at Hicks Crafted do it, and he did a fabulous job. But everything else was just trying to custom build and like figure out what worked and like what didn't work. And I don't know, there were like certain things in it that we thought we needed.
Yeah.
And then like almost 3 years and now we were like, fucking take it out. We don't need that. Like
We overplanned a
Yeah.
few things.
yeah, which is kind of our middle names. is
Yeah.
Overplanned, over anxious, over caffeinated, and yeah. So
Those are the 3 keys to success.
Yeah.
You just got to
Uh-huh.
work through it.
yeah. That's the 3 keys to owning a business for sure. Over preparation.
Yeah.
Always.
Well, and that's part of just starting a small business, right? Is you just got to work through all the kinks because they're going to come up. You're going to figure out,
Yeah.
okay, how do I want this laid out? What do we do in this situation? And
Mhm.
you're not going to know until you go through it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, totally. And I think like the biggest thing is one, open communication. Like Kara and I have known each other for 4, almost 5 years,
Aw.
probably a little bit longer. And I think it's just like knowing that you could always talk to that other person. And like if something is up or like you feel like you want to work on something, just having that be like an open source. And I think that's the biggest thing. And when we went into it, deciding we were going to do it, we were very upfront about that.
Yeah.
Just being like, if we're going to do this, it has to be like we're going to do it, and we're going to do it the right way. So
So you guys knew each other. You were friends going into this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
What-
worked together, and during COVID, we were like the only people we saw. We were still essential workers.
which, you know what, honestly,
Okay.
so we work, I mean, fuck it, we could tell
I
the
don't know.
public,
Yeah.
they know us.
All right.
We work at the Redwood Curtain Brewing Company. Shout out to the Redwood Curtain. And during like peak COVID, we were canning, like crowler filling beers and like handing them through the window to people for like 6 to 8 hours a day. Because, you know, we were essential workers, which was great just because, one, we were still able to have a career and make money and stuff like that. But yeah, that was like our it kind of, I think that's what kind of started and lit up this whole thing, was like when we were tired of doing that and like not having any contact with somebody like for like 6 to like 8 hours a day other than like through a window, and seeing that people wanted to like be together, but like it wasn't a safe time for people to be together. And then we were just kind of thinking like, oh, people are gonna like want to party again after this is
And
done.
outside.
And just be together.
Yeah.
And be able to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Hang out,
Mhm.
not worry about anything. Actually see people again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How many people got screwed up just from the isolation aspect
Oh,
of not being able to
yeah.
go
A
out?
lot.
I know.
A lot.
A lot.
I think
Yeah.
people are still
I'm
like,
still recovering
yeah.
from it. I
Mhm.
know.
We were actually just
I have
talking
more
about
social
it.
anxiety than I used to.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like, I don't know, my niece and nephew. Ugh. They were already addicted to screens, you know, and
Yeah.
now that
Mhm.
became their whole world. And yeah,
Well,
that's,
whole world for everybody, because
Yeah.
you got to
Yeah.
work if you're at
Mhm.
home, and then that's all screen based
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
Kids are going to school online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your whole world is
Yeah.
now literally through this phone medium,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only way you get to interact with everybody.
Totally. Yeah. And I don't know. Like I said, I feel like we kind of had like the perfect, like in a way, COVID was kind of the perfect catalyst for us to start the Pony Cake, was just because like,
we had a lot of time on our hands
we had a lot of
to work
time.
on it.
yeah,
And
we had a vision. I think like the community also had this like forward or this like ongoing vision as well, like just wanting to be together and be safe again, and making that happen. And it was kind of like we fit into this little niche. And
because this area has always had really great like block parties and festivals and stuff like that. And all of that went away during COVID.
Yeah.
And so it seemed like it all came back like last year, especially a lot of it bigger than ever.
yeah, and I don't know, I feel like having Kara provide that context is important, because she even had to provide me with the context, because when I had moved here in 2019, so
Mhm.
yeah, I moved here in August of 2019. I know, and I was going to grad school at HSU.
I'm sorry, do you want to pull that just a little bit? You want to be really up on that
Sorry.
sucker. I know. You can lift it up too. You don't have to, you're not going to break the stand. It's a little intimidating.
Can I put it there? Is
Yeah.
that okay?
Maybe just a tad bit closer. Perfect.
I feel like I'm gonna
Perfect. Kara's over here just like not,
I'm
I'm not
nosing it.
moving.
I'm like, if
not
my
moving.
nose touches it, is that? I'm
Um,
also afraid because of this that I'm just gonna like.
I know. I'm gonna like be doing.
Oh, you'll be
this.
fine.
I'm
You're
like,
good.
Mike,
Yeah.
do you want a little
Can
bit?
you edit out like the belching?
It's just going to be us burping through the whole
Oh, yeah,
podcast.
great.
Those are one of the best ones
Cackling,
though.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just gonna be us
breaks the
burping,
ice.
cackling, and just gross.
That's a
Thing.
rough introduction to coming
Yeah.
up to
I'll
Humboldt.
still like I'll mention a restaurant or somewhere in town, and she's
Yeah.
never heard of it or been to it,
Yeah.
and
I
yeah,
just-
she's still getting to know a
Yeah,
lot
I
about the
feel
area.
it's been pretty wild. It's been a wild
Like
introduction.
you went to your first movie at the Minor this year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's kind of fucked, but I feel like I'm like in the community, but I'm also like a super latecomer. And then also on top of that, just like I just moved here, and then like COVID happened and all of this other shit is going down. But
And you were still in school too.
yeah, I was going to
Which
grad
doesn't help.
school.
Yeah.
No, and I was like fucking
No time for
poor,
anything.
like broke
Yeah.
poor. So even if I wanted to go see a movie, like
I don't
it
have
wasn't
money to
gonna
do that.
happen,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
it wasn't gonna happen. But yeah, I just kind of still learning about all these festivals. Like Friday Night Market this past year was my first Friday Night Market, and we were working it and like actually like pretty much a partner of it. So that felt pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird because you almost got to see everything through a glass window, and
Yeah.
then now you're rushing through it. You're like, okay,
Mhm.
now I got to be a part of it,
Yeah.
and I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
my business is kind of a part of it. So
Yeah.
you kind of got the shotgun experience.
Yeah. Yeah, which is kind of great because kind of what Kara said, I feel like we keep saying post-COVID, but just in the present now, like I do have a lot more social anxiety than I had before. So it's kind of like really nice that when I'm working the pony gig and we're like representing like our business and like our community and stuff like that, I feel a lot more just like grounded. And I think a lot of that is because I could hide behind the bar.
Mhm.
I could get out of conversations that I don't really want to be having, or
And it's
Um,
also kind of a let's just face our fears.
yeah, it's like a safe haven.
Put ourselves in a huge
Yeah.
crowd.
Yeah, but have like I don't know, have like our job and that we're doing stuff, but we're still like involved, and yeah, so it's kind of the perfect fix that we created to elongate our social anxiety.
Well, it's kind of like musicians playing music so they don't have to be out dancing in the crowd, right?
Mm.
Maybe they have that social
Oh,
anxiety,
is
and
that
so they get to
right?
be on stage and they
Mhm.
don't have to worry about this.
That's very insightful. Yeah, we're musicians now.
Yeah, you guys are basically professional musicians.
Okay, maestro.
I've noticed with myself, this is going to sound kind of weird, but bear with me. Washing hands. Like I would always wash my hands, but I would never think about it. I would just go wash my hands. And now I'm sitting or standing in front of the sink thinking about how long I'm washing my hands
Yeah.
Mhm.
and doing it way more frequently to a point where it's not even really necessary at this
Yeah.
point. Like, oh, I go to the
Mhm.
gym, wash my hands before I go to the gym.
Mhm.
When I get home, and I'm like, why am I, what? I just went to the
'Cause
gym.
you
Like,
touched all the
Yeah,
filthy
you
stuff.
do touch a lot.
I'm sweating
Especially at the
everywhere.
gym.
Yeah.
Everybody's sweating
I
on
know.
everything.
But it's kind of weird to be cognizant of that, of
Yeah.
like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
wash my hands 400 times a day now. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
just,
My skin will never be the same.
Yeah.
No, we were using so much bleach and
Ugh,
stuff like that.
My
hand
jewelry all
sanitizer.
got
Mhm.
tarnished from like
Oh, Kara.
oh, I mean, whatever.
My jewels.
Oh, poor me
All my
during
pearls.
COVID. You don't know what I've suffered with my.
Clutches my pearls. My goals is tarnished.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot. I have like 2 rings. But anyway, it's the little things
Yeah,
that
I don't know.
you wear on a person.
I feel like I've always been, especially like in the like bartending and restaurant, especially in the restaurant industry, I was always washing my hands all the time because you're touching people's like dirty dishes and like napkins and cups like
You know
that.
what else I noticed changing during COVID is like as soon as they lifted the masking regulations, glassware got filthy.
Oh yeah,
Because like
Yeah.
nobody was wearing makeup.
Mhm.
Nobody was wearing lipstick
Mhm.
for like
yeah.
the
Mhm.
last 2 years.
Yeah.
And then no masking, lipsticks
Mhm.
back, and all the
Yeah.
glass rims got
Or
really gross.
yeah, I never thought about if I had something in my teeth for like
I know.
a year and a
It was
half.
great.
And then now all of a sudden you're like, shit, my teeth, they're out showing to the world. So
when you kind of have a blanket with a mask, right? It's like
Mhm.
people can't see my face. I can just go out. I'm
Yeah.
incognito.
We sound like really stressed out people.
I know.
This is a great way to plug. And then you get a drink, and then everything's
And
better.
then everything's better. Put it down with brown.
Oh my god.
No, we're
Anyways.
actually not really that stressed out.
No.
People, I don't think.
No, like I feel honestly the other day I just called and I left my partner a voicemail because he didn't answer as per usual. But I just left him a voicemail kind of for my own self that I was just like, I legitimately feel so good about like the place that I am in the world right now, and just like feel great about Pony Keg. Like I feel great about like my other job. Like I feel great about my sister just moved up here, and I just feel very fulfilled, and like I am actually not that stressed. But I don't know, sometimes I do fucking stress
Yeah.
myself out, as Kara knows.
Yeah.
I just I'm the queen of stressing myself
We
out.
take turns. Like,
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Share the burden.
Yeah.
Pass it around.
one of
Mhm.
us gets
Yeah.
to be the one that needs
Mhm.
the support.
Which is great because I do feel like, one, we read each other really well, and two, it's like if someone is stressed, we're just like, okay, go to the
Go sit
back,
down.
do what you gotta fucking do. Like we're gonna do this portion of it, and then we'll meet together and figure it out. And I think that's also what makes a really good partnership. So
Were you guys worried about going into business together? Because that's the old adage you hear is, oh, don't start a business with your friend or it's going to go sideways.
I don't know. Maybe we should have been cautious
Yeah.
about that, but I don't think that was really something I was worried about. I just never started any kind of business before. So I was just kind of like, okay,
you
we'll
make
do
it
this
sound
together.
like I started a whole bunch of businesses. I
Well-
too have never started a business.
yeah, I don't know. We really depended on each other. I can
Yeah.
remember like when we were
Mhm.
first making some initial phone calls, we were there together, all
Ugh, yeah,
nervous.
I
and
know.
I don't know.
And now it feels dumb.
I
Just
know.
being nervous
I know.
and
Yeah.
just worrying about stuff that you can't really do anything about. But no, I mean, I don't think I was ever, and it may be like, I'm not going to put a number on it or anything like that, but like me as an individual, I don't have a lot of savings, but like just the initial investment that we put into Pony Cake, it was more of time
Mm-hmm.
than it was like financial, whatever, like money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of time, to like build it and to build up our company and to like build up our trust in each other. So I think like it was more of like that was the capital that was being put in rather than like financial capital. It was more of like that personal social capital. So I think that's what made me a lot less nervous about it. Was just I could trust what we were doing, and we had a lot of we had a lot of conversations about it before
We had that dinner
Mm-hmm.
where us and our partners sat down and kind of talked about like what the time commitment was going to be.
Mhm.
Like, are we all up for this? Because, you know, it's our business, but our
Yeah.
support system
Yeah.
definitely
It mostly
has
just to be like,
been involved, you know?
yeah, are we doing something stupid right now? Like, I don't know. I don't think our partners would have ever been like, this is a really
Yeah, you guys should
dumb
probably
idea.
not do this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd like to hope that if it was a really dumb idea, they would have told us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So, yeah.
I don't know.
Mhm. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
Wait.
They're both very non-confrontational. Me and Kara are very, not very confrontational, but we're very much like, what the fuck do you mean? You don't want to do that?
Abrasive?
Yeah, is that
Are
the
we
word we're looking
abrasive?
for?
We're kind of like sandpaper.
Like, yeah, that
Huh.
grit.
And this was not confrontational we were going with. Okay.
Yeah, I know. This is,
I don't know. Here's the deal too, is I feel like during COVID, going back to me cussing a lot, I'm trying to work on my vocabulary.
yeah,
I
you're
feel-
totally desocialized.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't have like I go back to talking sometimes, then I hear myself talking and I'm like, girl, you are fucking educated. Like you have a vocabulary that you should be pulling out. But then I like come up with these like adjectives and I'm like, oh God. Which is probably why I won't listen to this podcast after you
I
put
do
it
not
out there.
blame you.
I'll throw it out there and never listen to it ever
That's an
again.
interesting idea, though. I feel like I've fallen into that in a sense too. I fall into that if I play video games too
Oh.
consistently during the
Mhm.
week. I
Yeah.
notice that my language, it takes this weird shift, and then I'll be
Mhm.
talking in public and think, what am I saying right now?
Yeah,
I sound
yeah.
like I'm 16,
Mm-hmm.
cussing every other word. But
Yeah.
like, what is happening right
I
now?
know.
I used to play this video game where you crash cars, and then I would find that when I play it a lot, when I'm driving around, I'm looking at like, oh, I could fly off that ramp. Rack up
I could
so
take
much
that.
damage. Video games are not healthy.
I could
for
take that
me.
easy. Yeah, I don't know. My dad used to do this thing where I would be talking or telling him a story in high school, and then he would be completely silent, and I would finish my story, and then he would say 18 times. You said like 18 times, and it's so I feel like I still do that,
I
and
do
it's
too.
something.
I wish you hadn't just reminded me of
I
that.
know.
It is a
Sorry.
word tick.
Can you edit all the
No,
likes out?
I can't. Now it's going to be in the back of all of our heads.
But I don't.
Every other word.
I don't want to like return to that like.
But it's
Yeah.
easy to slip into.
Don't fixate on it.
You just you fall into this speech pattern, and every other word is, well, I used to think like, sometimes I think that I like this, and then it just keeps happening, and you're like, oh, somebody
know,
pull me out
you
of this
know.
K-hole. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know.
I think the whole other thing is too, and this is something that I'm finding just in my day job, is that I'm a very casual person, and throwing me in any type of professional setting, it's like I just vomit the whole entire time.
Did you say vomit or
Yeah.
vomit?
A little bit of both.
Both. I
Yeah.
vomit and vomit. I like to call it vomit. But yeah, I don't know. I'm constantly trying to improve my communication.
I think we both have this, what do they call it? Oh, when you're insecure about your own ability.
Anxiety?
No. No.
Imposter syndrome?
Yes, imposter syndrome.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
I'm trying to think of.
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
think we both have a little bit of that because I think you're
Mhm.
a very competent, articulate person.
Oh
And
my God, like, thanks, Kara.
but yeah, it's kind of strange to hear you say that.
Mhm.
But
Imposter syndrome's real. We're all living it.
yeah.
Right
Well, and
here
you're
in the
harder on
garage.
yourself than
Oh.
you are on other people too. So I'm sure some of that plays in
Yeah.
there.
Mhm. Yeah, totally.
But you guys do have that instance where your work heavily involves talking to other people, and so
Mhm.
you almost have to be a little bit aware of.
Yeah, that's just
That's what we're
casual
doing.
chit chat,
Yeah.
though, you
Mhm.
know,
And
most of the time.
I feel like that's why I'm always prepared to have a casual conversation. But if you want me to get up somewhere and like read an actual presentation or
If this were
um,
in front of an audience, like
oh.
I need to keep.
no.
Do people listen to this? Are people gonna hear this? Like if all the people that listen to this were here in this room, I would be like pouring sweat from my face. Like public
Yeah.
speaking is my worst nightmare.
Mhm. Yeah.
I kind of can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah. That's why we asked for a beer.
Yeah.
Well, alcohol helps. Alcohol is a great
That is our motto.
easing factor. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, especially for you guys, right?
Yeah.
You're like, hey,
Mhm.
alcohol is kind of a saving grace. Guys.
Somebody at the bridal fair the other day, they came up. We had the whole trailer set up,
Mhm.
and they were like, "Oh, so you guys are the people that break up the awkwardness at the wedding
And
because
yeah.
we bring the alcohol." So,
Mhm.
well, they bring the alcohol. We serve the
Yeah.
alcohol.
And it may not even be about like the alcohol. Like we always do like options, like mocktail options and stuff like that. Like where it's like a craft cocktail, but we don't put any alcohol in it, just so then everyone like when you
Everyone can
have
fun.
yeah, when you have like a fancy drink in your hand and you're like at a party, it kind of does give you like a little bit more confidence.
It's an
Yeah.
accessory.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Do you think a lot of it is just the social lubrication factor of alcohol, or do you think it's the psychological aspect of
Both.
I'm doing this, I can cut
Mhm.
loose. Like I don't have to present this formal appearance because I've got a beer in my hand and I can kind of cut back now.
I think both.
I want a shirt that says social lubricator.
You got it.
It's going to be the new merch line for the pony
I
keg.
was wondering what to get you
Yeah,
for your
that's
next
it.
birthday.
The new merch line for Pony Cake. We actually did just order some t-shirts and stuff like that because I enjoy having a uniform. I've given myself an everyday uniform in some way or some form. Just yeah, I like knowing like we're gonna have an event. I want to wear my black Pony Cake t-shirt and my black jeans
Yeah.
and my apron and call it a day. Even today I'm wearing like a shirt from my other day job and yeah, I'm like, I just like having, maybe that's, I went to an all girls Catholic school and we had a uniform and now I feel like it's like completely implanted in me.
Starting to make sense a
Yeah,
little bit.
I don't know. I like not having to worry what I'm gonna wear during the day.
I'm pretty
Style.
anti-uniform. I'm like, let's just wear whatever you want to wear.
No, so I mean, wear whatever you want to wear, but wear whatever makes you feel comfortable. And it's kind of like now I've hit that point. I don't know. Maybe I've always been at that point where I'm like, I just want to be comfortable and I want to feel good in like what I'm wearing. And I have certain things that I'm like, yeah, I could wear this black t-shirt every day and feel really good about it.
Well, it takes the stress out of thinking
Mhm.
about what you have to wear for this
Mhm.
job.
Yeah.
You can say, okay, I'm just going to wear
Mhm.
black
Yeah.
every day on
Yeah.
call.
It does help that we own the business, so we could
Yeah.
wear whatever the
That's a
fuck
nice
we want to wear,
factor.
but
True.
we won't
Just-
wear all black all the
As long
time.
as I have orthopedic insoles,
Yeah.
I'm good.
We have mandatory insoles
Yeah.
for shoes.
How long are the events? I would imagine it varies when you guys are out there.
Sometimes it's like 10 hours
Mm-hmm.
is kind of, I think,
Yeah.
about the longest
Mhm.
typically. Yeah, so you're on your feet for a long time. If I look like I'm sitting weird, it's because my shoulder's a little fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fuck for you, girl.
Thank
you. And yeah, it's just like, it is a physical job.
Yeah.
Did
It
you tweak
totally
your
is.
shoulder at work?
I don't know exactly, and that my back's always fucked up. So, but yeah, dragging around coolers and
So much ice. I don't
so
think
much ice.
I don't think
I think we should have a whole conversation about
Yeah.
how much ice.
Yeah. Let's have a conversation about how much ice it takes to put on events. Let's go. For Friday Night Market, which is about, so it's in Old Town, Eureka. They like shut down the streets and stuff like that. So it's run through Humboldt Maid, and we run both of the bars through there. Every Friday, I usually have to get about 40 20-pound bags of ice from Costco. Like, that's how much ice it takes for what? It's like a 3-hour event.
That's not very long.
Yeah, it's like a 3-hour event, but like that's how much ice it takes to sustain this 3-hour event. And what I want to throw out to the public now is if you have an ice truck, if you do ice drop-off service, you hit me up. You hit the pony keg up at our phone number, just because we would use that even for weddings. This wedding that we did last Thursday, great wedding, by the way. It was Irish cowboys. There was like actual people from Ireland, but in like full-on cowboy attire. Yeah, like
Irishmen.
compared to being like, I have a 4-leaf clover.
It was like if the
Leprechaun
Marlboro
tattoo.
Man
Yeah.
opened his mouth and it turns out he's Irish.
Yeah, it was.
That
it
is a
was
crazy
rad.
picture to think
And
of.
that was the wedding.
It
It was
was
very cool.
So much fun. But even for that, we had like 16 20-pound bags, and it's just kind of like a lot of people hit us up and they're like, do you bring the ice? And I'm like, I would never make you go get as much ice as we have to get all the time.
Oh, you guys get your own ice.
Oh,
yeah, that's like included, just because otherwise, you know how many ice chests it takes to haul that much. That's why Kara's fucking backs out all the time.
Exactly.
Just huffing the ice.
But the good thing is I've got plenty of ice for my neck.
Yes. But I don't know, that's just kind of like the stuff that like is included. So pretty much like the pony keg, we like bring everything except like California's liquor laws are, in my opinion, really outdated and kind of fucking stupid, but we abide by them. But we pretty much bring everything except the actual alcohol. So our clients have to be the one that buys the alcohol. But we always send people like for hard liquor to Costco. Like Kirkland liquor is like legit. It's always really, really good.
Shout out to Kirkland.
Shout out to Kirkland if you're listening. But yeah, that, and we pretty much bring everything else. Like the only thing you have to bring on site is like that booze, but we'll also go pick it up for you. And we really take our time of like, if people want kegs, like we will order those kegs for them from local breweries and like make sure that they're like accessible and we're bringing them. But a lot of people are like, so do you just like, will you do something where you just show two bartenders show up and then they'll just like bartend my party? And we're like, no, because we bring so much shit. Like, and maybe it is like our, what is it? Abrasiveness, our anxiousness of
Our
like
sandpaper in
over
action.
preparedness.
yeah, that like I physically cannot send two people, even myself, like somewhere and then just like expect everything to be there. So it's pretty much like we are bringing like an actual bar. Like you don't have to worry about cups. You don't have to worry about mixers. Like we make all the mixers, we get all the garnishes, we do everything like that. And like get the ice, which is also just huge, like getting ice and stuff like that for events.
Slicing limes for 200
know.
people too.
There's so much citrus. And talk about your hands being fucked up. Like
pickled.
I feel like I don't
Pickled.
have any fingerprints anymore. It's
No.
just acidic.
But I think that's true. Like my
Yeah.
phone will not recognize my thumbprint.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes
Science.
like I'm up in the morning till like 2 a.m. slicing limes.
I know.
For
Oh,
the
man.
next-
I know.
For the next event.
Yeah.
And it's a wild sight.
And we obviously we enjoy what we do. Obviously, like in the end, it's really fucking fun. But there is just like a lot of behind the scenes stuff of like shopping, cleaning, like
A lot of people are really dismissive too of all that happens behind the scenes. We get a lot of like, oh, I could do this. I've got a trailer.
Mhm.
Like, okay, you want to be up till 2 a.m. slicing limes and
Yeah.
hauling 400 pounds of ice
Or being at a wedding until midnight and having to like load everything up
in
and,
the
like,
rain.
clean. Oh, God, yeah. Or like a whole other thing is like one time we went to this wedding and it ended up being fucking pouring. It was pouring. So the wedding had gotten moved from outside to inside, and we pull up and they want us to park on this. I'm not even fucking with you. Like
Oh,
fucking,
super steep slope.
like-
So steep.
like 45-degree angle. No, like 60-degree angle, steep ass driveway where like the trailer has to be a certain way because our serving window is like on the passenger side. So we couldn't just back it down the driveway. We would have had to like take it off, and we fucking made it happen. But afterwards, we were like, never. We immediately went home and went to our Googled contract amendment. And we were like, we're going to look through this thing.
Yeah.
We're going to look through it 1 to 23. And we added a thing that it was like, if we show up and you want us to be like ass backwards on a fucking 90-degree driveway, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to drive away.
Yeah.
But if you can't find another place for me. But that's only happened one time. But it is kind of, that's the same one where we had to put a sexual fucking harassment thing in there. Because I had not one, but 2 people grab my ass that day at this wedding. And they were both elderly people.
And one of them was a woman.
And one of them was a woman, which I mean, doesn't give.
It doesn't make it okay.
No.
We're not mate. We're there to work.
But I was just, yeah, we were immediately like, okay, we need to like, and maybe that's like the type of things like we're learning as we're doing, you know, and I don't want to be touched, and I don't want to fucking park on
And
a
you do not
90-degree angle.
have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
exactly.
that's a crazy request.
That's not a crazy
No,
request. Keep
but
your
I
hands
didn't-
off my partner's
No.
booty.
But also, we shouldn't have to put that
No,
on a contract.
it's
like
it's crazy.
it's gross. It's just gross.
Well, it's kind of funny that it was 2 older people. I mean, not funny, haha, but kind
Oh.
of funny, like, what is happening?
There is.
I
It's
don't know.
some people just think it's appropriate to touch other people, and a lot of times it is a generational thing. Like there's always people touching our shoulders or
Yeah, but that's also kind of a post-COVID thing too, where
Yeah.
I got my personal space
Yeah.
now,
Mhm.
all mapped out.
Yeah.
I like it.
totally. But yeah,
I don't know.
that's
We're safe behind the bar. It's
yeah.
when we go out to bust dishes
Yeah,
that
we're in
things
the-
get tricky.
the safety zone.
Do you guys spend most of your time in the bar? So you are you going out to like collect up cups?
Yeah,
and
we do
stuff
some
to
of that,
reuse them?
and yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll walk around like with champagne or
Yeah,
cocktails or
and beer and
whatever.
stuff,
Yeah, kind of work the room a little bit.
But yeah, a lot of the times we don't even get to leave the bar.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
like Friday night markets,
Mhm.
the only time we leave the trailer is to get more ice out of
Yeah.
the cooler.
That's it.
That's really it.
Mhm. Yeah.
There will be like Friday night markets. Sometimes we'll go like 2 solid hours and
Oh,
like
yeah.
not talk to each other. It's
Mhm.
just this kind of
Yeah.
autopilot.
And then we'll put things away in silence because we know we need to give each other like
little minute.
some kind of space because we've been in like a fucking tin can the whole
Mhm.
entire time talking to
drained.
1,000 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But even for weddings, like it is totally true that like a lot of people just gravitate. Like a lot of people gravitate to the bar, and maybe it is like what you're talking about, like the social portion of it and stuff. But we're like keeping drinks slinging pretty much the whole entire time.
Also, Pony Keg is really cute.
Oh, yeah.
And
You guys have a great setup.
want
She's
to
cute.
look at it. They want to take pictures of
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. hmm
I mean,
And we
let's just call it what it is.
Yeah,
It's
I
really
know.
fucking cute.
She's fucking adorable. But even after all this time, I feel like I don't get tired of people being like, "This is so cute.
I never
How
get
did you
tired of it."
do it?" And I'm like, "Well, sit on down. Invite me on your podcast, and I'll tell you all about it."
Keep giving us that validation.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, you guys really do. I kind of combed through your Instagram, and you guys do have a pretty sweet
Yeah.
setup. I mean, it is cool what you guys have done.
Mhm.
And
Thank you.
bypassing the California alcohol bill is pretty
We're
ingenious.
We're subversive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you guys are
That
kind of
way.
like outlaws.
Yeah.
Just
And we're like not the first people to do this at
No.
all. Like
We didn't invent this.
No, not at all. But I think we just also really wanted to, if we were gonna do it, we really wanted to put our personality in it, and like a lot of like the decor and the way that we've like built it. I think we put a lot of like humble in it, and we put a lot of our own personality, so it feels very like eclectic, like all of our little knick-knack type things, and we have like a little library and stuff like
Our
that.
sticker wall.
Our sticker wall.
Do you have stickers, by the way?
I think I do. I think I have a sticker I can give you guys.
You're
Sweet.
going up on our
Sweet.
wall.
Okay.
We could be a part of Sweet Pony, but yeah, I mean, like I said, like we're definitely not the first people to do it, and there's definitely trailers out there that are like way classier than ours, but I think we bring like that grit and we bring like that.
Well, and
like,
we can go anywhere. We
Yeah.
don't need electricity. We don't need potable water unless,
Mhm.
you know, we'll bring some.
Yeah.
But we've definitely worked weddings where there's no potable water,
Yeah.
no electricity.
Mhm.
And yeah, we don't need it.
Which is very humble.
We're set up
Yeah.
we can go
Mhm.
anywhere.
Most of the time, like we are going down dirt roads
Mhm.
and we have all our shit like bungee corded up and ready
You
to
should
go.
see me
and-
work these
yeah.
bungee cords, man.
But I don't know. We do. I see myself as a really resourceful person, and so does Kara. And it's just kind of like we get things done. We have a good time doing it. Like I think it shows when you look at us when we're working, and two, when you just look at Pony Cake in general. Like she's very well loved, and it's just it feels good. Like I said, I feel really good about where I am right now.
Mhm.
And
That's a good transition from where we started the podcast.
Yeah,
Where everyone's
right?
like, the world is crumbling, and they're like,
I
everything's gonna be
know.
okay.
I know. I feel like sometimes,
Chicken Little.
yeah, people get.
It's so easy to
anxious.
slip into that mindset
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
just get so caught up in your own little world of everything's falling apart.
Mhm.
We're
The
definitely
world's
gonna
ending.
fail.
Yeah, I don't know, and that wasn't even something in my mind. Maybe because like, not that we didn't have any expectations for our business, but we were starting with something that like we really wanted to do and we wanted to try, and we knew that we're good at because we've already been bartending and like have already, you know, been a part of events and like already pretty like embedded in the community. That the possibility of failure wasn't really there. It wasn't like,
It was pretty low risk
Yeah.
too.
yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was
And,
more of like, let's just try it.
and we did all the not fun stuff first.
Ugh, yeah, like all the county
The
paperwork,
paperwork
and
and
insurance, and
yeah.
all California business license. Shout out to Zen Business. They're amazing. If you're starting an LLC,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, sponsor Nick.
Yeah, right? Did you guys, when you were starting and filling out all the paperwork, did you kind of want to do alcohol in-house, or was the idea always to outsource it?
That was something that was really complicated to figure out with the
Mhm.
county. Like they didn't really even know what to do with us because I guess we're a unique business model.
Mhm.
So yeah, we were
Also
just
the
sort of like,
county.
what will work? What will you let us do? You know?
Mhm.
So
And then in terms of like ABC law and stuff like that, California prohibits we would have to have a liquor license to actually sell alcohol. So when you see us at like outdoor festivals and nonprofit events and stuff like that, that's because we're partnering and using that nonprofit license. So when you're a nonprofit, you get like, I think 12 to 16 licenses per year that you're able to pull for ABC. But us ourselves cannot get a ABC liquor license, like a liquor or beer,
Yeah.
wine, or anything like that to sell because we don't have a brick and mortar. And they're also really expensive.
yeah.
And then the county only gives out a certain amount of them.
Oh, so that was the problem, is that you guys are mobile
Mhm.
and they didn't want to give you it. Oh, that
Mhm.
seems weird
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. California, it's outdated.
in
Yeah.
a lot of ways.
Dude, during COVID, people were getting margaritas and fucking drive-throughs.
Yeah.
That
To
I'm
go
like,
in your little
yeah.
styrofoam cup. just-
I'm like, let's go back to that. It clearly worked. Like,
well, and then
let's
you have
go.
Vegas where you can just
Oh, yeah.
walk down the
Yeah.
street with open containers.
yeah, that's Vegas though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
We
want
don't-
Vegas.
I don't,
lot.
I
I'd
don't
be
want
fine with
Vegas
Vegas.
crowds here either.
I don't think we would. Well, maybe Old Town, you might get people walking around just.
Well, that's how Friday Night
are
Market
trashed.
is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Basically, they close down like 3 blocks
Mhm.
to traffic, and people are just
Yeah.
wandering around drinking.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not just that. There's
Yeah.
music, there's shopping, there's like the market and crafters and everything. It's really fun. But yeah, so you're not just boozing it up.
No. Yeah, I mean, if anything, it's like what that person said at that wedding. Like, you don't drink to feel good, drink to feel better.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. That's just
I liked
kind of
that.
like, I would, again, I get a t-shirt of that or a hat. I'd wear that. I'd add that in my daily uniform. But, but yeah, I mean, I don't think people are going there specifically to drink. It's kind of like, you could go there, you could bring your kids and feel like, you know, you're shopping. You're also getting like your groceries from the farmers markets that's there. You're dancing, you're listening to live music. Like, you're doing all of these things, but you also get to have a drink in your hand. And that's like really appealing.
It's a nice addition.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily the focus. It's this
No.
cool thing you get to add
Yeah,
on.
no. But booze also brings a lot of money to nonprofits as well. So that's
And
why
people will spend more money when they're drinking
Oh, yeah.
too. Let's
That
be
is a
honest.
factor.
They're
Mhm.
like, I love buzz shopping.
yeah. Big fans. Big
Yeah.
fans. But yeah, I mean, nonprofit wise, like when we do things with nonprofits, it's kind of like a fundraiser. Like when you have like a bar, like a cash bar and stuff like that, like especially for Humboldt Made, a lot of the stuff that they're doing, that money is going back to them through alcohol sales so that they could continue having more events that are or that bring the community together and uplift like different makers and crafters and small businesses. And same for like the North Coast Growers Association, like selling booze and having these fundraisers and stuff like that. It gives them a lot more money to go back to like their members and infuse the community with like more local produce and resources and stuff like that.
And
Did you guys? Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
well, I was just going to say, we've gotten so much support from other local small businesses too, and organizations like
Yeah.
NCGA and Humboldt
Mhm.
Made. So, like, we love being able to
Yeah.
give back to them and keep those organizations going, and
Yeah.
give support to those other small businesses too. We scratch each other's backs out
Yeah.
here. Humboldt
Mhm.
County is a great county for
Yeah.
small businesses.
For just reciprocal
Yeah.
like resources and like upliftment. But I think like a big thing is too is that going back to like a lot of people being like, cool, I could start that again. Like the social capital and like the personal and the time capital that we've put into Pony Cake, a lot of that has been volunteering. Like that is like we don't do a lot of marketing just because we do so much in-person marketing and like just being out there in the community that like I don't know, we're not made of money. We're running a multi-$100 company here. But I think it is just kind of like if you want to do this and this is something that you really want to do, you're going to have to put in like that time of like working for free. Like when you have your own business, most of the time you're working for free. Like the only time me and Kara pay ourselves is when we actually do like events and stuff like that. So we just pay ourselves like per event.
Starting to branch out a little
We
bit
are
more
starting to
and
branch out a little bit more,
pay
but it's
ourselves for
also
some
been like
administrative and
it's almost been like 3 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I think like a big part of us starting it is like, cool, we want to pay ourselves
Yeah.
and learning like, shit. I mean, maybe we should pay ourselves a little bit more when we can because we're doing a lot of this work and labor for free, which is worth it. But it's still that's something you probably have to deal with it all the time. I mean, like, do you pay yourself?
It's so funny when I started this. So I started it on the ping pong table, right,
Mhm.
at my parents' house, and I didn't tell my parents I was doing this or anything. All the equipment just showed up one day, and I'm setting it up on the table, and my dad comes over and he's like, what is this? Like, what should I be worried? What are we doing here? And I was like, oh, it's gonna be this podcast thing, and I'm trying to explain him to him, and he's like, okay. So like, how are you gonna make money doing this? And I, without missing a beat, I looked at him and I was like, I don't think I'll make any money for 5 years.
Yeah.
Just I didn't even think about it. It just
Mhm.
came out of my mouth.
Yeah.
And he was like, can you return all this stuff right now? Like, what are we? 5 years? What is
the
that?
fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's like, I know you guys can appreciate that because we've been talking about
Yeah.
it. That's the side that people don't see is
Mhm.
the back end stuff
Yeah.
of you're working 12, 14-hour days
Mhm.
doing things that aren't glamorous, just maintenance stuff, and
Yeah.
then maybe you get like 30 seconds of shine when you're at a wedding and people
Yeah.
get to say,
Yeah.
oh, this looks so awesome, and then you go back to the grind. It's
Yeah.
like those 30 seconds is what everybody sees, but
And it's worth it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you guys
Mhm.
enjoy it. You like
Yeah.
what you're doing. But
Mhm.
if you hated it, oh man, it would
Oh,
suck.
absolutely not. If I was working for somebody else's mobile bar company, I'd be like, bro, you can't pay me enough.
I don't know if
Screw
I do
this.
this.
Even though we do have employees and we love you.
Yeah,
You're
thanks,
great.
guys.
We love you.
Shout out to them.
Yeah. But like, I don't know. I think it's just one of those things that it definitely makes it worth it. And just like having it be ours and like, I don't know. I think it's also great that we get to like represent and like stand up for the shit that we actually like really believe in and
Mhm.
enjoy. And being your own boss kind of fucking sucks, but it's like way more fucking cool than it sucks. So
Yeah, that's a fact.
mhm.
It sucks, but it's way better than working for somebody else. Like hands
Yes.
down. It's just a better
Yes.
experience.
And we both
Yeah.
still work for other
Yeah.
people.
So you guys still get that dichotomy of let's go back to the
Well, I
pony
mean,
cake.
To be honest, they both have benefits. Working for
Oh,
other people,
yeah.
you clock in, you clock
Oh,
out,
yeah.
you're done with it, you go home, you
Mhm.
don't think about
And
it.
you get that
know?
guaranteed check.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't
Totally.
have to think about where my
Right.
money's going
That
to come
definitely
from.
has its perks.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
appreciate my employer very much.
Shout out to them too.
Yeah.
But
I'm thinking like, wait, what did we just say? Okay. Shout out to them. We love our boss.
But at the same time, it's really rewarding knowing that at the end of the day, what we're working
Mhm.
on is ours and
Yeah.
that we have the only say
Yeah.
in how
Mm-hmm.
it's run. So yeah, that's
And also
Yeah.
like a growth trajectory wise, like it feels really good to have something to look forward to all the time, and just like having Pony Cake in general. And like we're in the process of building another trailer specifically for like fundraisers and festivals and nonprofits. It's like a tap trailer, which we're still trying to come up with a name. So far we've been calling it the Micro Pony.
I don't like that name for the record. No, we have not been calling it. Now you can watch our disagreement process.
As long as it's in my garage, it's the Micro Pony.
Fine.
When it leaves the garage, it can be whatever the fuck it wants to be. But just like having like that sense of like growth, and that you're like working for something like a little bit bigger. And I know that sounds like so dumb when we're literally talking about like a 1974 horse trailer that we made into a barn. We're like, we're working into something bigger, and it probably makes us sound like lame, but it does. It's kind of like working into that thing of like what you're talking about with your dad, and some of us just don't want to fucking have normal gigs, like it just, or normal career paths. Like it just isn't working, and like having something a little bit different is really exciting.
Well, I think the crazy thing is that most people fit into that. I think
Yeah.
most people don't want to work the 9 to 5, go clock in, sit at a desk, and then go home. And that's why I was really interested in you two, is you guys used this weird space of COVID and took advantage of it. Because I think a lot of people got this moment to breathe where they could think, okay, what do I actually want to do?
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting at home or I'm working still, but I mean, we're in this weird time and I don't want to do this, especially back in the beginning where people were worried about dying. It's like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
is my life on the line and I'm bagging groceries? Like, is this really what I
Right.
want to die
Yeah.
for? What's happening?
Yeah,
And
totally.
you two recognized that and you took advantage of it and you got this. And I think that's what most people want to do. And that's why they look at you and think, oh, I could do that. Again, because they're seeing the 30 seconds of
Yeah.
you guys in the sun. But I think most people want to do that. Most people
Yeah.
want to start their own thing where even if they're not making a lot of money or any money, just the idea that I have this thing that I'm building and it's mine
Yeah.
or it's ours. And this is what we're putting out into the world.
Yeah. And everybody should have access to a dream like that. And I think, not to be that person, but I think that we should be able to create livelihoods and have the social infrastructure that could support that, like healthcare, and a living wage. And I think that everybody should be able to do what they enjoy, or at least partially enjoy, even if it is like hard work, and not have to worry about like working 5 days a week or 6 days a week so you could meet like your hourly requirement for healthcare benefits. Like, and I think that's where a lot of people end up in their situation, that they can't get away from their career because of like all of these other things in the way, and they're scared they won't have healthcare anymore. They're scared that they won't be able to like pay for, other bills and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. And it's just kind of shitty because like a lot of people aren't in the space that me and Kara were, and luckily we had like that little bit of savings that we could like make that jump and be like, we don't have healthcare provided by our jobs either way, so
Right.
we're kind of like, and
Yeah.
we don't have kids, like, and our partners were supportive, and luckily we live in an area that's relatively affordable, and we were able to make that leap. But I think a lot of people see it and they're like, fuck yeah, I want to do that, and they should be able to do that. Like, that should be an easy thing for people to do, the shit that can make them money and they could create a livelihood.
Life's too short
Yeah,
to give
totally.
so much. Like, that was one thing during the COVID closures and stuff that was just like how disproportionately we live our lives in this country specifically. That we give 5 days to our employer and we get 2. That doesn't make sense. That's not how
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm probably sound like a spoiled brat, but you should have more time for
Mhm.
your life.
Well, even now, like half the time, like in my working week, so I also work for the North Coast Growers Association, and like I work 30 hours a week and I do pony keg, but I still feel like I have more time to do the things that I enjoy because I have pony keg,
Mhm.
and also because the organization that I work for really does prioritize like a work-life balance and like be able to like transcend through like that weird 9 to 5 bullshit of just like, even if I only have one day off, like actual day off a week, I feel like I got way more done and I feel like way more enlightened and productive than I would if I was just working a normal like 7 to 4 job.
But that saying, like, do what you love and you never work a day in your life, that is bullshit.
Yeah.
That is utter bullshit.
Yeah.
You will work your ass off.
Yeah. Mascara's back. Yeah.
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 As I'm twisting in my chair.
Yeah.
But
I like the saying, it's kind of in line with that, but it's find what you love and let it kill you. And I
Yeah.
think that fits a little more into my ethos of it's going to be work and it's
Yeah.
going to be hard and you're going to hate
Totally.
life some days, but it will be worth it. And
Mhm.
most of the time it is worth it, even in those
Yeah.
struggles.
Mm-hmm. No, and it's totally kind of what Kara said. Life is too short. Like, my dad died really young at like 52, and he worked really fucking hard, like his whole entire life, and was finally getting to the point where like he could go on vacations, can like have time off, like is thinking about other things that he enjoys out of his life that isn't work. And he fucking died like before even like having any of that. So I don't know. I feel like that's kind of part of the reason that I was like, fuck it. Let's just start a mobile bar and see how it goes from there, and like be outside as much as possible and do the things that we enjoy doing, but also like creating a livelihood. Like, in no way are me and Kara fucking sitting on money. Like, everybody thinks that we sell the alcohol.
speak for yourself. My jewels are getting tarnished.
But I mean, as long as we have enough to like get by and to feel comfortable, like I will continue doing this. But yeah, I don't know. It's just,
We also get to go to some really beautiful places
Oh, yeah.
too. We've seen some gorgeous properties,
Mhm.
like some beautiful farms, and like
Yeah.
that's one of those pinch me
Mhm.
things where when we're out at an event and it's just a beautiful
Stunning.
spot. Like,
Yeah.
this
Mhm.
is what we're getting paid to do right now. This is amazing.
Every time. I think the only bad time was the driveway thing. But
Yeah.
even the venue itself was gorgeous.
Yeah.
The driveway was just a hell zone.
That pack up was rough too.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, we get to see, as we probably all can agree, Humboldt County is fucking stunning. So it is just like wherever we do get to go, like the two of us, like we'll always like try to watch the sunset or
Mhm.
like just go take a walk around where we're at. And yeah, I guess that's the benefit, that we don't need to be plugged in anywhere.
And when I turn off the cynical side of my brain too, I remember like, oh, we get to see all these beautiful unions take place between, people who love each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool.
No.
You guys are in the back placing bets. Like, "Ooh, is this one going to
Oh,
last?"
no,
Oh,
we
yeah.
would never,
never, ever.
But we do try to predict who's going to have too much to drink. And
Oh, yeah.
we're going to have to cut
Totally.
off.
Totally.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, that guy.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's a whole other thing that I feel like gets overlooked. I've definitely cried at more than a handful of weddings. Like, and half the time it's not even like the ceremony or anything like that. It is just kind of like there is something really special that people, even though they are paying us to be there, like want us to be a part of this like a celebration of their love and seeing like
That's
their
something they hopefully will only do one time.
Hopefully.
And that, like,
Mhm.
they've chosen us to be
Statistically.
a part of it. That's
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
a huge compliment.
Yeah, and seeing like their family and friends, like that's always my favorite part, is
Mhm.
just seeing their family and friends like all there to support them. And we get invited to some pretty like different, like non-traditional weddings, in the sense of
Mhm.
like there will be food trucks, like it'll be centered around just like having a good time rather than doing like the normal wedding stages and stuff like that. So yeah.
Cool family traditions.
Mhm.
And they were doing an Irish jig
Oh yeah, it was cool. All they were doing an Irish jig, all in like straight up cowboy
Yeah.
hats. It was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah, that would be a crazy sight to see. I keep
Yeah.
thinking about the Irish Cowboys. I'm like, that
Oh,
would be
it was
that is
awesome.
quite the mix.
It was insane. It was really really cool though. I don't think that's something that we will probably ever experience again. I think that was a one shot.
Yeah. And before you ask, no Guinness, no Jameson.
No. Mm-mm. They did have shout out to Porta Pints. They did have an Irish red ale that is abbreviated the IRA, and we weren't
Cool.
sure if we should put it on the menu. We were like, oh, okay.
Yeah. We're gonna get flagged for the good
Right.
guy for this one. Like, where do we stand?
I bleeped it out on the menu, but
When you guys, like you said, you're in these moments where theoretically this is a very happy time, and you guys get to be a part of that, and you get to see
Yeah.
people coming together and just
We've also
being
been wanting
together.
to do like a divorce party.
oh yeah, which also is people coming together.
Yeah.
I mean,
and probably
It's the
pretty
next
happy
phase.
as well.
It's the next
Yeah.
phase.
That's what they're
you
going
know?
down.
Yeah.
that's our next targeted marketing group is divorcees. So hit us up.
You guys
We're
are really gonna have
also-
the tap on the
We're
market.
doing
huh?
we're doing a dog quinceanera.
Yeah.
In a couple
in
weeks.
2 weekends, and that'll be the first, and that is another marketed group. We fucking love dogs, and we
If
love
you got
parties.
dogs
Yeah,
and want to hold a celebration for them,
Hit you guys up.
I
Hit us up.
promise not to bring my dogs because they're jerks.
can
Wow, so
confirm.
you guys
It's
are
true.
really getting quite the mix of people coming to you,
But mostly what we do is weddings.
Mostly.
Yeah. Mhm.
and then a lot of like outreach stuff.
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Like Friday Night Market, we partner with Humboldt Made to do it. So we're there every Friday. They just extended it this year, so it's going to go through October as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. But yeah, I'm like
And that's every Friday
that's every
in
Friday
Old Town,
in Old Town. Mhm.
beginning June.
No, July,
July. Oh,
the week after July 4th.
be there.
That's gonna be a lot of weekends.
I know, but that's also why we made this tap trailer, just because me and Kara both came to the understanding that we are only human and we can't be doing things all the time.
Yeah.
So
Will the tap trailer go out with the main pony keg, or is it going to be like an additional thing that you use in certain?
Additional. Yeah,
Mhm.
tap trailer is going to be used mostly for like street festivals and stuff like that. And I mean, it'll also be something that we use for weddings as well. But yeah, weddings primarily are on Saturdays for the most part. So we'll
yeah,
have one for each.
but yeah, the tap trailer is definitely more of like there's just more capacity.
Is it a bigger trailer, like a bigger size?
It's actually a smaller trailer.
Oh.
So it's a custom single horse trailer that we're building to have taps on the outside so that the kegs could just go on the inside. So it'd be kind of like an external jockey
Yeah,
box.
like a jockey box on wheels
Mhm.
kind of thing.
Yeah, that like we go through a lot of beer like for Friday Night Market and festivals and stuff like that. So this is like a better way than us having to set up 2 bars, to set up the pony keg on Friday just to like break everything down Friday night, clean everything, get it ready to go, do the same shit on Saturday, clean it, get it ready to go on
Maybe have a
Sundays.
Sunday.
Yeah, maybe have a Sunday off, but
Yeah.
last year we did the bar at the Blue Lake markets. So NCGA and Humboldt Made and the city of Blue Lake were all doing like a street festival type thing. So we did that on Sundays. So this past summer, like really fucking kicked our ass.
Yeah.
So we were like, we need something that we can not have so much hands on,
Mhm.
and that it'd be more of like an equipment rental, and have it be easier for the organizations that are doing these types of things anyways.
Well, a little easier for you guys too, right? I'm sure that helps.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one weekend where we did like 3 weddings, and that was insane.
Yeah. Mhm.
We're
In
not-
one weekend.
Mhm.
Ooh,
Mhm.
that's got to add up pretty fast.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
okay, maybe we take a day off now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
You just
did.
kind of crash out.
Yeah. Yeah. Go to the river for like 2 days.
Mhm.
Just
Float-
decompress.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Nobody talked to me.
Yeah. That's a huge thing, is like I had to have that conversation. My partner and I have been together for a while now, about like 7-8 years, and we both worked in bars and restaurants together. And there is a very clear understanding. Like when I come home from something, I usually sit in the car for like 20, almost 30 minutes just to like fucking chill, like to just not have to talk or like do anything like that. I'm not doing it to hurt anybody's feelings. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings if I just like haul ass in the house and then I'm a bitch because I've had to talk to people all day.
Is it just you're amped up from talking to people, or you just the draining aspect of talking to
Overloaded.
Yeah,
people?
the draining
Overloaded.
part. It's socially exhausting, having to talk to people all day. And
There have been some events where like my voice is gone at the end of it, like especially like sometimes Friday night markets, because we're also trying to sell ourselves. You know, it's great marketing for us. And great exposure. So everybody is asking us, you know, about, oh, where do you guys go? Where, you know, do you do this? Do you do that? And so we're kind of trying to sell ourselves all night. And so by the end of it, like sometimes we're both just shot.
Yeah, that's an interesting aspect. On top of working the event, you guys are also running branding of, hey, here's our story. Hey, give us a call if you need this.
Yeah.
You guys got a lot going on.
Yeah, totally. But I think we're like, I think that's like another one great thing. I'm not like trying to gender this. A great thing about being a woman is you're able to like carry all of these things at one time and like execute it well. You know what I mean? Like being able to like market yourself, but also do what you're doing, like do your job, but also be like socially appeasing and stuff like that. So I don't think it comes naturally to many people because it is like mentally exhausting, but when it's something that you like really care for and that you're really working for, then you do it pretty well. And I don't know if you've like ever placed an ad in anything. Advertising is fucking expensive. That it is like our time is worth a lot of money, but like I don't know, advertising for something that like someone may not even look at that magazine or listen to that radio station or listen to that podcast. Like it's either do one or do the other. Like do one well and put a lot of finances in it, or do one extra well and put a lot of time into it.
Is there a lot of burnout with the working the bar scene? Not necessarily with the pony cake, but like at an actual brick and mortar bar?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And I would imagine a lot of that ties into the constant conversation aspect.
Yeah.
Because is the work I mean, I've obviously never worked a bar, but I would imagine the work isn't necessarily that crazy. It's tedious.
Yeah.
You're restocking, you're pouring drinks, but it's
sometimes it can be crazy and nonstop and like, yeah.
and everybody's vying for your attention. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part is you guys are
Yeah.
you're the hot girl at the club. Like everybody's trying to I need the bartender so I can get my
Yeah.
drink. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like everybody is
Everything.
focused on
Yeah.
you guys.
Totally. I think it is, for me at least, and I guess it's bar to bar too. Like I've worked at bars where like you're constantly making drinks the whole entire night. Like you don't really get to talk to people the whole entire night, and that's mostly like in like clubs or like music venues and stuff like that. But when you're working in like for instance, like a brewery that has like a lot of regulars and stuff like that, you know them, you know what I mean? Like most of the time you know them like pretty well. It's someone that you're seeing all the time. So it is just kind of like, if you're not having a good day, like you can't necessarily share that all the time, just because like you have to like turn something on inside of you to like be on and to like entertain people almost. And like when you have other things going on in your life, like fucking when I was going to grad school and then having to like write my thesis, go to class all day, and then fucking go to work, I'm like, I could definitely not talk to anybody tonight and feel really good about it. But like you have to turn it on, that you're just like, I need to be hospitable, I need to be social, I need to be those things. And that could be exhausting. And it's definitely not me clutching my pearls being like, poor me, because I love doing it and it usually always feels really good. But there is something about just like having to turn something on all the time that you get drained. You have to like prep yourself during the day sometimes of like, okay, I need to relax today because tonight's gonna be crazy. So
Yeah, you're kind of what is it, masking in a sense where if you work a desk job and you're having a shitty day, you can go have a shitty day at work. But if you are having a shitty day and you got to go be interactive with people, you can't scare away the customers.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to last.
Yeah. I remember I was bartending back when I lived in the Bay Area, and we had just put our dog down, and like I couldn't do it. I showed up to work, I had tears in my eyes, and they were like, "No,
You're not the vibe."
This is not what we need right now.
Like I could not fake it, and like they were like, "No, why don't you take the night?" Yeah.
And that's a good bartending job. Like
where they say you can take a night.
Yeah.
That is a good job.
Shout out to Tommy.
Yeah.
I love you, Tommy. Thanks for being such a good boss.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just. It's like working your business. Is there comes a point where you just have to put your head down and you just got to push through it. Doesn't matter if you're having a hard day. You just. And especially more so with your businesses, nobody else is going to come and do it for you.
No.
Like, at least with that, like, they could call somebody else in maybe, or maybe they just run a little short-staffed. If you're having a bad day and you guys have a gig, you got to go do the gig. You can't just call out and say, hey, I can't make your wedding.
Totally. Yeah.
I'm struggling today.
I couldn't even imagine knock on wood, what would have to happen for me and Kara not to show up to an event.
We have in our contract something called the oh shit clause, and we have never had to invoke it before. We thought we might when we had, because we had a wedding in Salyer this last week, and we weren't sure if the 299 was going to be open. That's really the only thing that we were a little worried about. But other than that, I can't, like, how bad would the catastrophe have to be?
What would have to happen for us to miss something, especially like a wedding? But yeah, the oh shit clause was definitely kind of brought on by COVID too. That like it was just so up and down of like, all right, we're not doing shit, California, you're shutting down again, like, you know. And then I don't know, some like the earthquake, like a whole bit, like a natural disaster, like a whole bunch of shit like that. And like it's also something that like our clients can invoke too, that it's like if you tell us, I remember like not mentioning any names, we did have somebody cancel and we gave them a full refund this past summer because of like some pretty gnarly health news, like a diagnosis, and we were like, yeah, fucking take your money back, like you're gonna need it. But it is just kind of like that oh shit clause gives us a little bit of wiggle room of just like, yeah, if the 299 is closed and it's fucking snowing, like, sorry.
Yeah, what do you want me to do? I can't go pull the rocks out of the road.
I'm not gonna do that. Like that's not gonna happen.
That's on Caltrans.
Yeah, that's all on our tax dollars, baby cakes. But yeah, I don't even want to have to think what we would have to do.
I think we also put that in there too because, like, we weren't sure, like, what if one of us got COVID or something, and like it's the mandatory 2-week quarantine or whatever it was. That like, okay, under those circumstances,
and it works pretty well. Both of our partners have worked weddings and events with us too. Like we do have some backup where if one of us were to fall
is down
to be struck out,
if one of us has their back out or
shoulder starts going, maybe they got a little help,
or I don't know, has stomach problems, and that's always my thing. It's
important to have people in your corner, especially doing something like this. It's really anything in life. It's important to have some people in your corner that you can just kind of lean on if things go a little sideways.
Totally.
We both have very supportive partners too.
That's one of the things I always talk about, that it can make or break your life is your partner. Man, if you just get a shit draw of the cards and you marry somebody and it just goes sideways, that is the easiest way to fuck up your life. And it's just this thing. Now you go home and you're just hating life. And it happens to so many people. It's just this trap, and that's your life now.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I don't even think that's like a romantic partnership. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's a lot of like some people that we have in our lives that we, like, I don't know, let's say it went to shit with me and Kara. You know what I mean? Like it's actually pretty funny. For a long time, everybody thought that we were partners.
Still a lot of people do.
Romantic partners. But I'm here to set the record straight. We are business partners. But yeah, every time like my partner is my boyfriend, and I just always feel weird calling him my boyfriend just because I don't know. He's like so
Are you guys
much more
going
than
steady?
that. We're going steady. He gave me his pin, and yeah. Anyways, but I don't know. I think it is just kind of like the people that you choose to put in your life, like even outside of romantic partners, like it could be hard. It could really, really divert some shit. Yeah.
Keep out the toxic influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the key. Is just try to keep your external stress as low as possible, and
Yeah.
keep out people that want to.
Understand that. Oh,
It's like a sport for them. I can appreciate watching them go down that path, but I can't follow them because it's just too chaotic. It's like, how would you want to live your life
I
like
know.
that?
But I could watch.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's like watching those true crime shows.
Yeah,
It's like,
I
I'll watch.
know.
If you're going to put it out there, I'll
Yeah,
watch it, but I'm
dude,
not going down there
if
with
you're
you.
gonna have a fucking show, I will watch from the stands. I don't want to.
Let me get the pony keg. Pull out some lawn chairs. I'll be there.
Yeah, fuck. Give me a taco truck, pony cake and a taco truck. Yeah, I'll pull out a chair, start a fire. But yeah, I don't know. I think it is insanely important, romantically, platonically, anything like that. The people that you surround yourself with, and it's hard because a lot of times we find ourselves in situations that are really toxic that we can't get out of, whether that be like work or school or sometimes it's family. Yeah, sometimes it's family, and you really have to like give yourself time to heal after that. And for me, I feel like I get really I am very hard on myself for like, okay, you need to like get it back together. You know what I mean? Like when hard things do happen, even if I have a support system. But yeah, I don't know. It's important to surround yourself with all those good people.
This is very therapeutic.
Yeah, thanks, Nick.
That's what I'm here for. I'm basically a doctor.
Do you want
I
to
got
talk about my
PhD.
dreams?
What's going on with your dreams?
Oh, it's been weird.
I had somebody, I can't remember who I was talking to, but we were talking about lucid dreaming and how that's a rabbit hole that you can go down. I actually watched this video about this kid. He's like an adult now, but when he was younger, he got really into lucid dreaming. Do you guys know what that is?
Isn't it that scary movie?
It's, I don't know. Is there a movie about it?
Oh, I'm thinking of Night Terrors.
No, Night Terrors, that's something else.
Oh, I'm thinking of you were describing the plot of the movie Insidious
Inception.
or Inception or something.
Inception's
So good.
that's a
Yeah,
good movie.
and I was like, oh, isn't that a scary movie about lucid dreaming?
It's kind of tracks like that. Lucid dreaming it's just really vivid dreaming where you feel like you're actually there, and with a lucid dream you can actually control it. You recognize that you're dreaming, and
like
so
you train your brain.
yeah. And so this kid, I think he was in high school when he started doing this. You can kind of control that. There's like YouTube videos to figure out how to kind of game your body into going into that state. And he got so into it that he was always lucid dreaming, and he started sleeping like 12 hours a day, was cutting school just to sleep in his bed, and was building this whole life for himself in his lucid dreams. And that's all he wanted to do. And it was like this drug that he got addicted
Inception.
to. Yeah.
That is so
And then he had to
depressing.
pull himself out. And it was like in college, he finally got a grip on it. But it was like a drug. And he just got
he like
sucked
went into
into it.
withdrawal. Can you imagine like
Being
I
addicted
need-
to sleep.
Like, yeah, I need sleep so bad, but can you imagine like being like, yeah, I'm oversleep. I'm gonna start like lucid dreaming.
Gonna get
for
back to
shits
my
and
other
gigs.
life.
Yeah. Like, oh, guys, I can't go out tonight. I gotta go back to my wife and kids in my dream. Like, what are we
I gotta
doing?
handle some shit
Yeah.
in my dream world. Yeah, that's
It really is like Inception now that I'm thinking
Yeah.
about it. It's like when they built that, whatever, 3 layers down
Yeah.
or whatever.
you know. Now
I'm
that
still not sure about that entire movie. Like, yeah.
I'm still not sure about Leonardo DiCaprio. Honestly,
Was that Leonardo DiCaprio or Matt Damon?
That was Leonardo
But I can never
DiCaprio.
keep straight.
That was Leo. That was a great movie. That was a really good movie.
you know. Now that I'm thinking about it, Insidious is also a movie about lucid dreaming. It's about
I've never seen it.
Oh,
I was getting
it's
that one confused
spooky.
with Prometheus, which I also
We're just
don't
all
like.
over the place with movies now.
Welcome to Growing Pains Movie Edition.
This is a new spin-off of this is my mini pony. This is gonna be
Yeah.
the spin-off.
The
It's just
your
movie talk.
micro pony.
My
your
micro
micro-
pony.
Your micropone. Yeah.
What about nano pony? That's
Ah,
a little,
no.
Is that to Steve Jobs.
We're gonna have to workshop it.
We're still working through the names of the new one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It took us a while to come to the pony keg, surprisingly, because it seems like a very obvious name now. But we went
Yeah.
through some terrible.
There was at one point, which I'm so happy we didn't do it. We were gonna name it Off the Wagon, and now how many people like don't drink, like
Yeah.
that we do like mocktails and stuff like that, or people being like, I've been sober for 20 years. It would have been so insensitive. I think I would have crawled in a hole and died if I was like, oh yeah, welcome to our bar Off the Wagon, and it's somebody that's been like sober for like 20 years. Ugh.
We're just making a cheeky pun about your lifelong struggle.
You're welcome. Aren't we fun?
Yeah, naming's kind of the biggest battle behind actually starting, right? Is figuring out, okay, what do I want to call this thing? My
Mhm.
child, what is it? What are we going to make this into?
Well, personally, we just got really drunk and a little stoned, and then Kara immediately was like, the pony cake.
Well,
And we were
it wasn't
like,
immediate. We went through a lot of
oh,
bad
well,
ideas
I mean,
first.
yeah, no, we went through probably like 20 ideas. And there's also like a thing, this is a whole other thing. Like, you can't just like name something. Like, if you have an LLC, you can't just like name it whatever the fuck you want to name it. In the state of California, you have to have a different name. So like if we went with, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like another mobile bar name.
We don't need to plug a different.
No,
mobile
you're
bar.
right. If we went with another name, like it has to be completely unique. Like, and there's literally like search sites like on like the state of California business license website and stuff like that for you to make sure that you have a unique name, which makes it feel even more special. We're the only pony keg in the state of
In
California.
California.
TM.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And
guys are one-on-one.
You got to
now.
protect your brand too. That's
Mhm.
important. So
No.
I get why that's got to be so.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys had 3 other pony kegs here trying to compete, it might get a little
Yeah.
awkward.
We would win, but yeah.
What is the plan here moving forward? Are you guys just going to keep adding other little trailers, or you're just going to keep doing
I
your thing
don't
and see where
know.
it goes?
Well, Nick, we're just going with it. We're going with it. We're adding the second one. I think it's going to make our life a little bit like how we were talking about. Like, it's not going to make it easier, but it's going to make it more productive in the sense of like we're using our time in a better way and like our resources compared to like constantly having to like clean up the trailer and like, you know, get ready for the next thing. So the second one will make it a little bit better. I don't know. We'll see if we want to do another one. I really enjoy the balance that we have right now, and we've talked about it, like if it's in the cards, like what it would look like completely expanding. But I think that's also like up to our client base and our community. Like, we would need like the appropriate funds to make that happen, and if we were to expand, it would need to be like our actual livelihood compared to also having day jobs and doing this as well.
Is that kind of what you guys want to take it to? Is doing it as like a full-time business and replacing those jobs, or do you want to keep that mix?
If I had the choice, I would never work ever again a day in my life.
Just across the board, just no work.
I'm like, I would work maybe an hour a week, and no, just kidding. Well, that's definitely something that we've talked about, and I really enjoy my day job, and I feel very fulfilled in my day job. So it would definitely, our balance would be a little bit different if we were to continue to do that.
I agree with that.
I think that's half the battle, is just figuring out what you want out of life.
Yeah.
And what work, whatever that means for you, looks like.
Yeah.
And if it's a split between a business and a business that you own, I think that's great. I don't think it has to be this all or nothing thing if you're happy with what you're doing. I think the happiness portion of that is key. And
Yeah.
just trying to maintain that if you can get there. I think
Yeah.
that's the most important factor.
You might not realize this, but I'm a little bit older than Haley.
You don't realize
I
that,
didn't.
though, right?
I didn't.
Look at her. She's hot.
I love that this is an audio only podcast, right? Let's stick to
No,
that
actually.
fiction.
Yeah, this is awkward. Let me just cover the cameras.
Right.
Like that.
But I don't know. I think about like my long-term future and potential retirement and stuff like that a little bit more, and think about how it would be nice to transition into that as my own boss. But I don't know. That feels like a pipe dream. You know, the idea of like, what's the average retirement age projected to be for our generation? Sorry, my generation.
I don't even know. It's got to be insane.
What, like
now.
70?
Me personally, as a 27-year-old, I don't think I'm ever gonna be able. I will die working.
That scares
Unless
the shit
something-
out of me.
Unless
Thinking about
something
that.
changes, you know, going back to that social security net that I'm talking about, that we should all just have health care and a reliable social security at the government. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Pony. But yeah, I think the whole point of us starting it was we just wanted to be able to pay ourselves, but also still do the shit that we like to do. And as long as we could continue doing that, then we can continue growing.
I think we're just going to keep doing it as long as it's fun.
Yeah.
You know, once we don't like doing it anymore, we're going to stop.
Yeah,
There's no pressure.
we'll sell it. We're out.
Yeah.
Are you
That is
interested?
that is sort of our fallback plan is like, oh, we can just sell the whole thing. And
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And it is, I think, just understanding that nothing is like forever, and everything is dynamically changing. And, but there's so many things like in place right now that are making our lives easier. And like, I think like a lot of that, I'm going to throw in like my other day job. So I work for the North Coast Growers Association. So we recently got this massive farm to institution grant. So now we're pretty much, we have something called the Harvest Hub, which is a food hub. So it's like a wholesale center for pretty much we connect producers, like farmers and their products, to like large institutions like the Humboldt County Office of Education. We're going to start doing all the school lunches from farmers, restaurant wholesale, things like that, food for people. So like we are also a member of the Harvest Hub, which this summer is going to be amazing because we really do prioritize and like buying as much local products as we can. Citrus wise, we can't. Like lemons, yes, we can, but like grapefruits, limes, things like that we can't grow here. It's not going to happen. But now like there's this internal system that's being made in our county that's going to make it a lot easier to get local foods to businesses. So like we're not going to have to, even though I love going to the farmer's market, I don't need to go to the farmer's market twice a week in the summertime to try to get the ingredients that we need, you know what I mean, in bulk. So there's a lot of things that are making it a lot easier for us. Like now we're a little bit more, I don't know, not that we have seniority, but like now we have like a little bit more say in like the setup for events and stuff like that, and like what that looks like what type of booze we're getting for partnerships, like timing, staffing, stuff like that.
we can
So-
say no to things too.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which is a beautiful
That's
power.
a really nice place to be
Mhm.
in our
Yeah.
business is that,
Yeah.
we can say no to stuff.
So
Okay, well, I'm excited for you guys. I think what you guys are doing is awesome. I really like the concept. I would implore everybody to go check out your guys' Instagram because you have some awesome pictures of your actual setup there.
it's cute.
That's all Hailee. She's neither of us do any social media
We don't have our
for
own.
ourselves personally. And
Mhm.
she's figured out how to use Instagram.
But the pony cake makes it fun because it's like it's just fun. It like makes it, even though I know there's like, and that's also not like our livelihood. Like I keep going back to that, like we're selling a service rather than a product. So I think that's when you have like a product on social media, you have to put so many more things out there. Our service doesn't really change. Like it's dynamic, but it doesn't like change. So we're just putting up fun shit that we're doing.
And it takes the stress out of trying to like formulate how am I going to
Oh my
market our
God.
product? Or,
Yeah, I hear so
paint this
much.
picture.
Yeah, about like like the algorithm and stuff, and I'm like, I don't fucking care about.
I just
the
post.
algorithm.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
out.
like, I post once a week. I repost stuff on the stories, and we make it happen. So
You guys definitely make it happen.
mhm.
Fuck yeah.
Well, this was a lot of fun. I appreciate both of you really for coming on. We'll have to do
Thank
this again.
you.
This was awesome.
We appreciate you, and it was really not as nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Nerve-wracking as I thought it was.
You have a
gonna
very
be.
soothing voice. Has anyone ever told you that?
I have not gotten that. Thank you.
Very
Really,
soothing.
it's. I mean, you guys make
Puts
it
me
easy
at
when
ease.
you're having a great conversation, so that's half the battle.
And it's like ringing in my ears.
Yeah,
Like,
like, okay,
it's important.
yeah.
There's this one podcast that I thought it was just a really annoying host that I was listening to, and it turns out I had it like sped up.
That might do it.
So it was a way higher pitch and just super fast.
Listening at like double the speed.
Yeah,
just go,
and I
"Well,
realized
it's
like,
only
oh,
50
there's a
minutes."
setting for that.
Ew. Well, while we're here, what's your favorite podcast to listen to recently?
I'm basic. Mine's like the Joe Rogan Experience or
Mhm.
breaking points for news and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super crazy. I do like Crime Junkie. Crime Junkie is a really good
Mhm.
true crime one. I think what they do
Mhm.
is pretty awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not too
Yeah.
crazy with my podcasts. There's so many out there now. Like you could listen to anything
Yeah.
on any topic
Yeah.
Totally.
with anybody that you like.
Mhm.
It's just out there.
I've been doing I've been on a rampage of it's 2 podcasts. One's called Ruined and then another one is called Too Scary Didn't Watch, and pretty much they just give the whole plot of horror movies because I love horror
I could have
movies.
used that for Midsummer. I would not
Oh,
have
they
sat
they
through it.
ugh. But I
It was
think like
terrifying.
it's
Was
one
it good? Was it a good scary movie?
oh,
Midsummer.
Yeah, I haven't seen
mhm,
it yet.
It was good.
It's a mind fuck.
disturbing.
It's
Okay.
just a total
disturbing.
mind fuck.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I love a good scary movie, but I don't like the crappy ones. Like when it's like
Mm.
it's not
it's
believable or
it's very
kinda,
well done, disturbingly
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
I'll
Yeah.
have to check that
It's
one
really
out.
good.
Okay.
But I love horror movies, but a lot of the times visually shit fucks me up and it sits with me for a long time. So just listening to someone describe it and like add in some commentary, it really hits the spot. It's good.
Okay.
You could just listen to the Midsommar one if you
No, I'd have to watch it. I'm a
Uh-huh.
visual. I can listen to audiobooks. I do
Mhm.
enjoy audiobooks, but I would
Mhm.
rather read and I would
Mhm.
rather watch the
Mhm.
movie probably than.
yeah. hmm
But I'll definitely check out Midsummer.
It's
I'll have to look
disturbing.
at that.
I don't think it's as disturbing as Hereditary is though.
I have not seen
Hereditary was pretty good.
Hereditary
Hereditary was pretty good.
was when I talk about visually disturbing, it is visually fucking disturbing.
There are some moments in that movie where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, this is what we're doing now.
Mhm. Don't watch that one. You
Okay.
can listen to that
Okay.
one, but don't watch that one.
I don't do well with scary movies
I know you
at
don't.
all.
Okay, well, do you guys want to plug where people can find you, where they can book you if they want to use you guys, where they
Yeah,
can get all
our
your stuff?
website is www.
That's a good start. We're getting there.
.ponymobilebar.com.
I had a the in there, no?
Can we look?
Momentary pause.
Isn't there a the?
Edit this out. Edit this out. Edit this out.
Cut that.
I have it on airplane mode. Give me a sec.
I mean, you can just Google.
I'm gonna bet that it says the. I'm impartial third party here. I think it might say the
Because our
Pony Keg
I
Mobile
think
Bar.
our email doesn't have the, but our website does.
You can find us at www.theponycakemobilebar.com or at our Instagram at ponycakemobilebar.
Okay,
Nice.
there you go.